And the next thing he's going to share with us is, the techniques and how to get out in the water, and that you need to observe the waves and time the waves right so that you don't get thrashed when you get going out there, or you don't spend a whole lot of work trying to get out in the water when you don't need to. If you observe a little bit, you can find the right place, you can go right out in the water. Just like in supply chain management, when we do our analysis and our analytics in what our requirements are over the year and the long term, as well as some economic factors, we can see that. We can see the opportunities without having to go through a lot of pain. So Nathaniel's going to share with those things with us next, and enjoy. And I think you'll find it's very insightful and very much something we can apply to supply chain when you look at it from a different point of view.
When you first get to the beach, you want to observe the waves to look if there's a small channel where you can get out and not have to duck dive or turtle roll or anything, and to make sure that there's actually some waves there instead of it being like it is today where there's barely any and it's all choppy and nasty. And then after you get through that and you observe the waves, you want to time the sets, which is there's supposed to be a place where there's a big wave, and that goes, and then there's several big waves after it. Then it's like flat, and there's no waves crashing. You count between the end of that wave and the beginning of the second wave, and the longer it is, the higher the waves are getting, and the bigger the swell is getting. And the lower the number, the less the swell is going down, and the waves are shrinking.
So by timing the waves, knowing the sets, it's easier to get out in the water?
Yeah.
Very cool. Hi, this is Randy Mullen with Supply Leaders Academy. Just wanted to share with you a story that I experienced when I first started in supply chain about analysis and forecasting and the ability to predict the future. Before that, we were sharing with Nathaniel the need to be able to forecast when is the best time to go in the water as a surfer. As you can see, he's out there surfing right now. And the way he did that was he sat down at the beach and observed the wave sets. Some waves were a little bigger than others. Today's not a very big day. There's not a lot of big waves out there. But he sat down and watched the waves and looked for the right opportunity to get in the water so he wouldn't have to fight with the breakers. When you look at the ocean, big waves are coming in, and then all of a sudden it calms down for a few minutes, and then the waves start coming in again. That kind of illustrates how we use forecasting, is that by observing and collecting data and analyzing that data, we find calm in the water and opportunity for our businesses and for our supply chain. One of the things I experienced when I first started in the supply chain arena was we were managing the equipment for it was a school training 15,000 students a year, and we were required to have equipment on hand to support that training. And we were always, when I first got there, we were always jumping through hoops trying to find equipment. It was always short of supply. People were trying to exchange equipment in the middle of the night, and it wasn't fun. And what we ended up doing is we said, this is crazy. Let's just look at what our requirements are, and based on those requirements, let's just, let's do better planning. So we looked at our requirements. We saw that there was seasons to our training when we needed to have a lot of equipment, as well as, there were certain types of equipment that were more important than others, and there were certain type of equipment that broke more often than others. And there were certain times of the year that we needed certain things. So we just started to look at that stuff and started to observe those things. And once we put it all on a data sheet, we looked at historical data, we found the trends, and we said we got to have at least 10,000 sets of equipment on hand at all times. And with that, we started to source to ensure we had that much equipment on hand. And then things got easier. The students were happier because they had the equipment they needed. The instructors were happier because they were able to train their students without having to worry about having the right equipment. And it really worked out for us all. And when we look for cost savings so that we can improve our businesses, our supply chain is one of those areas that we can look at really quickly and find a lot of cost savings. And it's not as complicated as a lot of people make it out to be. If you opt in below, you will get our free paper on supply chain analysis, how to improve the profitability of your business. So you can find these simple techniques and employ them in your business. And if you're a nonprofit or government organization, the same techniques apply. And as we know in government, nonprofit, the better we spend our money, the better we're able to get things done. So, opt in below, enjoy the book, and we'll talk to you soon. This is Randy Malden with Supply Leaders Academy. Take care.